Tonight, new questions surrounding the murders of 4 University of Idaho students. Authorities saying they still believe the killings were targeted, pushing back on a claim made by a local prosecutor.
Is it fair to say you believe this was targeted, but you don't know if it was location or individual based?
Yeah, that's correct. At this point in the investigation, we have not really come to a conclusion whether it was the individuals involved or one individual, multiple individuals, or the location. We haven't made that determination yet.
But the families of the victims frustrated, with no suspects named and no murder weapon found. Steve Gonzalez's daughter Kaylee was killed alongside her best friend.
How does it feel 3 weeks in here and to know that whoever did this to your daughter is still out there?
It's ridiculous. It's angering, you know, this amount of time, and I can't even get them to say that this is a man. We can't have that kind of closure with that guy still on the streets.
How fearful are you of this case going cold?
Well, the town likes to bring up the fact that there's very low crime. So there's not a lot of working knowledge there. This is what we're dealt with. This is what we got. This is the circumstances that we found. Let's make the best of it and let's move on. But the lead investigator, he's a true stud. He really knows what he's doing. So I put my trust in him, but he can't make evidence if it's not there. So I am very concerned.
Police are now turning to the public to help fill in a detailed timeline. But the families of the victims want more to be done.
I don't know what you're getting paid for if you're not communicating anything. You got to figure out a way to build a case off of what you release and still protect close, detailed information that only the killer will know, but you have to help the community help you.
All right, Morgan Chesky joins us now from Moscow, Idaho. Morgan, as you've reported here on Top Story, the Gonzalez family chose not to hold a public funeral for their daughter. What did Steve tell you about that?
Yeah, Tom, I asked that very question. Heartbreaking response. He is so concerned that whoever did this may try to blend in with a crowd at a public funeral that the family has chose to hold off for right now. He says that that thought even entered his brain when he was speaking to the crowd at that vigil last night. Several thousand people in front of him. He says he was disgusted by the fact that this killer could be bold enough to try to take some sort of joy in this traumatic aftermath that took his daughter away.
And Morgan, on that theory, do they think the killer or killers, and I know you got to that in your story, are part of the university community, other students, or do they think possibly this person is from the town?
Yeah, Tom, I spoke to investigators right now. They're remaining incredibly tight-lipped. They have been able to rule out several individuals as potential suspects as this investigation has gone on. But when I asked the investigator point blank, he says, we do not have a suspect. We do not have a suspect description. We don't even have a person of interest at this point in time. And that's why he said it is so important for the public, if they have any sort of tip or potential evidence, to come to police as they build out that timeline to try to retrace the steps of each of these 4 young students to try to figure out where they were in those hours before they went to that house where they were later found dead.
Morgan, you were at the vigil. What are students like right now over there? What's their mindset? Are they living in terror?
They're certainly constantly aware of what has taken place here. Some are choosing to take the school up on its offer for remote learning for the rest of the semester. We heard from another father who said he didn't feel it was right to have his child, his daughter, go here, knowing that even though there was a potential of something that could go terribly wrong, there's law enforcement in almost every direction you look around the campus, and we're told that FBI has come here to assist with the investigation so the local Moscow Police Department can focus on patrolling this community. One example of just how aware this town is of what's taken place is that the number of calls for suspicious activities or disturbances has doubled in the last few weeks.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.